Yeah, man. Greetings once again and welcome back. We're carrying on with the questions and as best as I can answer. Let's. I think we should have this disclaimer on the screen or something, before, if it happens, Wuti, on that episode we're speaking concerning this book called the Bible. People have a confusion. When I'm sitting here talking about the Bible, they call it flip-flopping. 1 minute you're talking about ancestors, 1 minute you're talking about the Bible, 1 minute you're talking about this. Listen, the only flip-flop here is you, unfortunately, because this is a book. Like Herbal Remedies is a book. Like music, mysticism, and magic is a book. Like there's many books. Mm-hmm. Now, here's the thing about intelligence and human intelligence, or the lack thereof. If something does not sit well with you emotionally, physically, or mentally, the natural human instinct is to reject, right? And it's unfortunate when you are in the process of rebelling from one system and trying to accommodate yourself in another system. You are always going to find issues with the previous system and criticize without actually understanding why you are criticizing.
On that note, thanks for that, Abba, but on that note, I wanted to read the Bible once again. And it says, the Bible says, for God is not a God of confusion, but of peace. So if our fundamental message is one of peace, how does that not resonate with the viewers? It doesn't make sense.
The problem here is let's be honest about the times and the world we are living in. We are living in a time where we are fighting. Mm. And more than anything else, we are fighting against ourselves. Mm. More than anything else. Mm. Yes, we may point fingers at so many enemies and we may blame so many systems. We may blame apartheid. We may blame colonialism. We may blame slavery. We may blame so many systems. But the reality of the fact is that most of what we are blaming is in the past. It's not presently happening. And if you are going to look at first, like the Bible, for instance, if you're going to see a book as a colonial tool, right?
Then without looking at the essence or the core of the message.
Without looking at the core and the message, you are going to find yourself in an intellectual cul-de-sac.
You're going to find yourself in a maze or a labyrinth, not knowing how to get out.
That's the thing. You are going to be stuck now in a battle that is unnecessary.
And the battle is with yourself.
That's all it is. Because now, if the Bible says love your neighbor and you love yourself.
God is a God of peace.
God is a God of peace. Do unto others as you would have others do unto you. And you have a problem with that?
For me, that goes back to what we were speaking about last week, which is the signs of rapture. So one of my questions was, in addition to what we spoke about last week being first and foremost, fundamentally, the expression of women that we see in the society being the first sign that rapture is upon us. What would the other signs be? Would it be not being able to see a message of peace?
The other signs would be exactly that, Ntombi. It would be our lack of ability, our incapability, and our lack of capacity to handle the truth. What do I mean by that? If somebody comes and speaks an uncomfortable truth to you, you have two options. A, accept the lesson, grow and evolve towards where the lesson is pointing you.
100%.
Option B, reject the lesson, insult the teacher, and stay in that intellectual prison that you have created for yourself. Right? You've got two options in this life. Like the Bible said, Moses, in the book of Exodus, the story of Moses, he grows old and he does not reach the promised land. But he points it out to the Israelites. But beyond that river, which was the river Jordan, beyond that river, the promised land is there. So he sent a couple of people to go and scout it out. When these people came back, one of them said, there are giants in that land, warriors that carry deadly weapons. There's no way we could go there. They would kill us in a day. The other one said, yes, there are giants and warriors there. Yes, there are big people with all these weapons but if we could try, we would be able to fight, but they will defeat us nonetheless. The story of Korah and the other guys. One of them came back and said, yes, they both speak the truth. There are giants there. There are men of war but because the Most High has promised us, we can go ahead. Now, Joshua, who was the leader at the time, had to make a choice. He's got the children of Israel behind him. He's got the river Jordan in front of him. Beyond the river Jordan are these Amalekites and all of Moabites and Canaanites and all of that, right? Big giants. Now he says, I place before you two things, life and death. Right? This is where I'm driving the nail to. This is the kraal where this cow is going to sleep in tonight. I place before you two things, life and death, knowledge and ignorance, right? Light and darkness. If you choose the light, if you choose life, if you choose knowledge, you will cross the river with me. If you choose darkness, death, or ignorance, you will stay behind on the other side of the river and return to slavery in Egypt. Right? Okay. That's a story. And if you cannot intellectually grasp this as an allegorical story,
A fable.
And you are going to use your lack of ability to interpret fable and allegory and symbol. You are now going to take your lack of intellectual muscle and use that to criticize the very person who's saying, but no, this is talking about life.
Self-actualization.
That's not religious. It means you are stuck in a loop of oppressor and oppressee. You are still in a prison. The fact that you cannot learn from somebody else means there's something very wrong with you. I've studied the Mein Kampf. Mein Kampf is the Bible of Nazism. I studied that book. I studied Hitler's personal diary. I learned a lot from that monster. A lot from Hitler. Do I condone what he stands for? Do I believe in what he stands for? Not at all. I would not go to court and plead Hitler's case. I wouldn't. For my own moral reasons. But is it wise of me to reject knowledge from Hitler? Is it wise for me to reject knowledge from the American Confederacy?
Is it wise to reject knowledge of truth?
This is what I'm asking. One of the 42 laws of Ma'at or confessions of Ma'at says, I did not block my ears to the words of truth. I did not block my ears to the words of truth. Now, if now it happens that your point of reference is the Bible, I can't sit here and cut down what you know. I can't sit here and reject your point of reference. I can't sit here and say, but no, you are coming from a colonial perspective. When what you are trying to ascertain here is, how do I personally develop as a human being?
How do I act in alignment with truth?
That's it. This is what we are trying to ascertain here. But now, if I'm going to sit here and say, no, but you cannot use a colonial reference. Have you read Animal Farm?
Several years ago.
All animals are equal, right? But some are more equal than others. George Orwell was writing a political commentary of the state of Europe at the time. Not Africa. Europe. The political upsettings and the inequalities that were happening where? In Europe. Not in Buputatswana. Not in Anduli. Not Komarapian. Not in El Dorado Park. You know, George Orwell was commenting on a political situation that was happening in Europe. But now, am I going to now take the Animal Farm, read the book, and reject the reality that it's trying to portray? Because I'm not European. The Bible, the word itself comes from a Greek word, biblios, which means a collection of books. It's a library. If you have a problem with going into a library and reading books, then this Pan-African, African movement approach to reality is going to cost us intellectually in the future.
It's funny you should say that, Abba, because actually fundamentally what I see is that We are dealing with a generation that doesn't like to read. So we can't sit here and read the entire Bible to the camera. So it's either you're going to take the Bible, you're going to read it, and you're going to discover truth for yourself, or you're going to reject it.
But let me show you something, Nana. Let me show you something quick. I like what you said. It's either you're going to read it and find truth for
Yourself.
Okay. His Majesty Haile Selassie speech about the Bible. Let's hear what His Majesty Haile Selassie says about the Bible. I quote, "We in Ethiopia have one of the oldest versions of the Bible, but however old the version may be, in whatever language it may be written, the word remains one and the same. It transcends all boundaries of empire, all conceptions of race." Can I repeat that?
All conceptions of race.
It transcends all boundaries of empires and all conceptions of race.
Wow.
It is eternal. And one of the most complete proofs of this can be found in the body of the Bible itself. Gamaliel, one learned in the law, warns Israel of their attitude to the apostles and their teachings. "Refrain from these men," he says, "and let them alone. For if this counsel or this work be of men, it will come to naught. But if it be of God, ye cannot overthrow it." And so we see today the Bible with its wonderful message reaching the remotest parts of the earth. No doubt you all remember reading in the book of Acts of the Apostles how Philip baptized the Ethiopian official. He is the first Ethiopian on record to have followed Christ. And from that day onwards, the word of God has continued to grow in the hearts of the Ethiopians. And I might say for myself that from early childhood, I was taught to appreciate the Bible, and my love for it increases with the passage of time. All through my troubles, I have found it a cause of infinite comfort. "Come unto me, all ye that labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest." You cannot resist an invitation so full of compassion. Today, man sees all his hopes and aspirations crumbling before him. He is perplexed and knows not whither he is drifting. But he must realize that the Bible is his refuge, the rallying point of all mankind, or all humanity. In it, man will find the solutions to his present difficulties and guidance for his future action. Again, in it, man will find solutions for his present difficulties and guidance for his future actions. Unless he accepts with clear conscience, underline, unless he accepts with clear conscience, untainted by religion, untainted by politics, untainted by Abba Ayaleu Amlak, untainted by your traumas and where you come from, untainted by colonials, untainted by apartheid, clear conscience. Unless he accepts with a clear conscience the Bible and its great message, he cannot hope for salvation. For my part, I glory in the Bible. Close quote. Emperor Haile Selassie, King of Kings and Lord of Lords of Ethiopia. Now,
the Bible says this on that point, Abba. It says, "I fed you with milk, not solid food, for you were not ready for it."
Now, does Haile Selassie say we must become Christian?
Fundamentally, he says, search for truth and accept it for what it is.
That's it.
So whether you find truth in the Bible, whether you find it in the Quran, whether you find it under a tree, it's the truth.
If now you are going to stand in opposition to the truth in order to push a truth, which one becomes the lie?
The one that you push me in opposition.
The Bible is a rallying point of all mankind. In it, you find solutions to your present difficulties. Why? Because it's not talking about people living in Mars or in space and driving in spaceships and using AI to communicate. It's talking about basic human existence on the earth. What is right? What is wrong? What is good? What is unacceptable? What helps a nation progress and what helps a nation... Let me show you an example.
While you pull that up, I've got another quote from the Bible. Do you not know that you are God's temple and that God's Spirit dwells in you? You're going to reject that?
And then look at me funny when I say I am God, having a human experience. But it's in the Bible.
It's in the Bible.
Let me show you something. Listen to this. Do not take interest or any profit from them, but fear your God, so that they may continue to live amongst you. You must not lend money at an interest or sell them food at a profit. This is a law in the book of Leviticus 26, right? Mm-hmm. It's Jewish law, right?
Yes, they don't... I believe Muslims also don't believe in interest.
Even Muslims don't do that. In another book, Deuteronomy, same thing. Do not charge a fellow Israelite interest, whether on money or food or anything else that may earn interest. Now, like I said, Haile Selassie says in the Bible we find solutions to our present difficulties. In the Black African brown community, are we not suffering a lack of financial power?
100%.
Are we not suffering high poverty rates,
100%.
high unemployment?
100%.
Are we not suffering from falling behind in the economic race?
100%.
All right. Now, the Bible says, amongst people who are like you, your fellow people, do not lend each other with interest, whether on money or food. Now imagine if I could borrow you 1,000 rand to do something for yourself, to start a business, and then you are only expected to pay back 1,000 rand. Are you surprised why Jews are so financially strong? Because it is part of their religious and cultural law. It's in the Bible. The Muslims, why are they so successful financially? They follow the same laws. Why are we failing as brown people?
Because we haven't read the law, so we can't incorporate it into our daily life.
Now we want to reject the Bible that is giving us an economic freedom. Fighters. We want to fight the Bible that is giving us an economic blueprint.
To quote the Bible once again, for the word of the cross is folly to those who are perishing, but to us who are being saved, it is the power of God.
Exactly. In another part, what is it? Romans?
I'm in Corinthians.
You in Corinthians. In Romans, I think, if I'm correct, let me just quickly check. It says the same thing in a harsher way. Yeah, I think Paul was angry with the Romans. Oh, God, now I have to look for it. But it says, do you not know that the wisdom of God is foolishness to man?
Wow.
And the foolishness of God is wisdom.
I read that.
Aha.
I think Revelation speaks about that.
It does, but it's actually, let's look for it clearly.
Okay.
Let's go to it directly. Let's go for it directly so that it's not like we're making things up. The wisdom of God. There we go. It's First Corinthians, not Romans.
What I read that recently.
Yeah, it's in Corinthians, not Romans. My bad. I'm not a pastor, guys. I'm not a theologian. I'm just a reader of novels. Let's go. First Corinthians 1, verse 25. Where in?
For the foolishness of God is wiser than men, and the weakness of God is stronger than men.
All right.
I rest my case, Your Honor.
There we go.
Wow.
Now, we are not going to fight foolish battles with people who think they are full of wisdom. Rather, we stick with our foolishness because somewhere it resonates as wisdom.
On that note, going back to the previous episode, we mentioned that the rapture is one of consciousness. And to quote the Bible once again, for the present form of this world is passing away. Is that another one of the signs that we are seeing?
The present form
of this world is passing away.
What is the present form?
Matter.
The form is passing away. The world now is becoming. You remember the 7 Hermetic principles? The first principle, the universe is mental, all is in the mind of God. The world is moving to that direction, the opposite way. We are no longer existing in the world, in the mind of God, yet the universe is still mental. It's called artificial intelligence. AI. Everything is happening in the minds of man now. Machines are running themselves, computers are running themselves, books are writing themselves. It's happening now in something else's mind, no longer in the mind of God. Listen, there's a battle that is going on right now, and I don't want to sound all scientific and right, but there's AI on one side, and then there's AI on the other side. There's artificial intelligence on one side, there's ancestral intelligence on the other side. And these are fighting now. They're at war. Right? There's a whole AI investigation or research committee that is investigating ancient Egypt. And it's bringing up a whole new information about ancient Egypt. There's AI rewriting songs. There's AI writing whole books. Now, the universe, yes, is mental. Whose mind are we going to exist in? This is the rapture. The form of the world as we know it is going to change. Not that the world is going to explode in a cataclysmic explosion and no. I do not say so. Am I saying it's not going to happen? I don't know. I barely know what's going to happen in the next 5 seconds. But what I'm saying is, according to the symbols and the allegorical meaning of what is written in these books,
and the physical signs that we see, the world as we know it is going to change. It's currently changing.
It's not the same anymore.
Hence why you said the rapture has started.
And here's the thing. The worst part about this reality is those who deny it are already captured. Those who deny it are already captured. Listen, what's the best way to hide the truth?
In plain sight.
Exactly. If now I'm going to give every single Tom, Dick, and Harry access to the Bible, how many interpretations thereof are going to be the result of that act?
How many false pastors are we going to see?
Okay. So by the time people realize the truth has been so tainted with falsities and lies and sensationalism that people won't pay attention to the truth anymore, right? It's like the girl who cried wolf.
Yes.
Remember the girl who cried wolf?
Yes.
Yeah, wolf is eating my sheep, wolf is eating the sheep. The whole village comes and then there's no wolf. She was just bored. And then she does that again. And then she does that again until the village says, Yazin, no strala. One day wolves really came. And she cried, there wolves, there wolves, there wolves. And nobody came. Nobody came. So the best way to hide the truth is to make it so accessible that it's going to get muddled up in the line.
Just a quick one. Is that where then, because the sort of dichotomy is between, as you said, artificial versus ancestral intelligence, the definition of the latter, ancestral?
Okay. Ancestral intelligence would be the mind of God. It's the proverbial voice that speaks in your head. It's that presence that is omnipresent within you.
This is where the phrase know thyself is very important, because the voice in your head isn't necessarily always the voice of God. The stillness behind that.
Now, if you remember what you read, do you not know that your body is the temple of the living Spirit of God? Do you not know that within you dwells the Creator?
The temple of the Holy Spirit.
Now, Solomon, David decided, I've had so many victories, I'm so wealthy, and God has given me so much power. I want to build a palace for myself, and I want to build a palace for God. Right? A temple. And then God said to him, are you crazy? Do you think that I live in a house of stone that is built by man's hand? And David didn't succeed in building the temple. Right? The person who succeeded in building the temple of God. Now, listen to the symbolism, the allegory. David, the David, in any translation, the pronunciation. David means the head, right? The head that wears the crown. He was the king of Israel. He represents the sun. David is the sun. He was a warrior who was also a shepherd. Right? So he was a warrior who was also a shepherd, a protector, you could say. He now defeats all the enemies of Israel. He's finally sitting on the throne as an undisputed king, the sun, right? Yay! Now he wants to build a house for God. He's a warrior. He's a shepherd. He's a physical man. He's the body. This flesh. Right? Now he gives birth to a son with a woman who was previously married to someone else. Listen to the story. Bathsheba had a husband. While David was high up in his palace, the sun at midday, while David was high up in his palace, he looked down and he saw Bathsheba taking a bath. The sun saw its reflection in the water. Right? David sees Bathsheba taking a bath and he desires her for himself. Right. He sends her husband to war. He dies. Then he takes Bathsheba and makes him his wife. They birth Solomon. Now Solomon grows up to ask one thing of God. Wisdom. So Solomon represents the mind. David is the body. Solomon is the mind. And he was the one who built the temple of God. Which, by the way, the Bible says was built with not a sound. In complete silence. Let's check it. It's not me. Now you must start to use your mind now and think. A whole temple is built. This is bricks, this is stones, this is gold, this is metal, this is it. All being construction site. And there was not a sound. Now let your mind exercise for a moment. And then tell me, how was that temple built? First Kings chapter 6 verse 7. First Kings chapter 6 verse 7. It says, the stones used in the construction of the temple were finished at the quarry. So there was no sound of a hammer, axe, or any iron tool at the building site. Now, a whole temple is built in complete silence. You tell me, was it a physical temple that was being built here? Is it possible to build a house without a sound? No hammer, no saw, no iron, nothing. Complete silence. You still want to come to me and say this was a physical temple. Do you not know that your body is the temple of the Holy Spirit of God? Emperor Haile Selassie says, the temple of the Most High begins with the human body because it houses our spirit, the essence of our existence. It houses God. So if that is the case, what then is the temple of the Most High? It's a conscious reality. It's a realm without form and void, yet form and void. It is the realm of eternity, where you now, in your conscious space, have no father, no mother, no beginning of days, no end of life. Will you continue from age to age in the full awareness that you are God And all of you are sons of God. Or you don't know that? Open Psalms 82 and read it for yourself. Yeah, man.
God has taken his place in the divine council. In the midst of the gods, he holds judgment.
In the midst of
The gods.
the gods, he holds judgment in the divine council. Carry on.
How long will you judge unjustly and show partially to the wicked?
How long shall ye judge unjustly and show partiality to the wicked? Who is he talking to? These gods who are sitting in the divine council, who are judging unjustly and showing partiality to the wicked.
Give justice to the weak,
Give justice to the weak.
and the fatherless maintain the right to the afflicted and destitute.
Give justice to the weak and the fatherless, and give
Right of the
Right.
afflicted and destitute.
Now, if you've not yet caught on to this, it's humans that are doing these things. So in the congregation of the divine council, God stands amongst humans.
Rescue the weak and the needy. Deliver them from the hand of the wicked.
It's humans who can do this, not some spirits from somewhere.
They have neither knowledge nor understanding.
It's humans that don't want to read the Bible. Or don't want to read a book for that matter.
For that matter. They walk about in darkness.
Hey, humans, not gods, not spirits.
All the foundations of the earth are shaken.
Who is living on the earth and shaking the foundations of the earth? Humans, not spirits. Carry on.
I said you are God.
I said, you are gods.
Sons
He
of
is
the Most
reminding
High.
you now. The Supreme God is reminding the council of the divine beings, which are humans. I had said, you are gods, and all of you are sons of the Most High.
All of you, nevertheless, like men, you shall die.
There. And the coin drops. But because you choose to be unjustice, to be unrighteous, to not give justice to the poor, and
To not accept truth.
to not accept truth, you shall die like men and fall like princes.
And fall like any prince.
It's your denial of your divine origin, of your divine essence, of who you truly are.
We said it in the first episode. Accept your divinity. So where's the disconnect?
If you cannot accept that, if you cannot accept that Christ was a... All right, let's look at the Bible, the main characters in the Bible. Just a quick run through. There was a man called Moses, right? Moses means drawn out of the water. Who did not come from their mother's embryonic fluids? Who? Who did not come up from the water?
AI.
I could take that. But every single human being was drawn out of the water, right? In a basket called the placenta. That was woven the day your father fertilized your mother's ovum, right? And then a net was woven for you, a basket was woven for you, a basket of bulrush, a basket of fibers and nerves and membranes, and called the placenta. The basket was woven for you. And then you were carried for 9 months in the water until you were welcomed into the Pharaoh's house. You were born into the world of light. Remember, Pharaoh is the sun. Right? Pharaoh, sun god. Right? So Pharaoh is the sun. So after that 9 months you were flowing in this river, in your basket called the womb, you were welcomed into Pharaoh's palace, where there is the sun. You were welcomed into the world you were born. And you were raised by these people in the Pharaoh's world. Did you not grow up among strangers? Did you not?
Mm.
When you went to school, were you in the same class as your mother and your father and your grandfather?
You don't necessarily know that they are your mother and father. You just take it and accept it for a fact.
We all grew up among strangers in Pharaoh's palace, where the sun rules on earth, until we reached the point of identity. We came to ourselves, self-knowledge. And we realized that, no man, these strangers, they're actually oppressing my people. Who are my people? The 12 tribes of Israel. Who are these 12 tribes of Israel? Let's count them. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. How many are those? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. How many are those?
12.
The 12 tribes of Israel that were built all around the holy place. And the Holy of Holies was just behind the holy place. If you're going to deny the symbolism of who you are divinely, spiritually, you are blocking yourself from intellectual evolution. If you read how Israel was structured in the Bible, the 12 tribes were placed around the tent of congregation. And inside the tent of congregation, why is it the tent of congregation? Because inside this rectangle or square or this body,
Platonic solid.
this plutonic solid, this is where you find all the other solids. You find your triangles, you find your circles, you find your rhombuses, you find your cubes, you find your tetrahedrons, you find your hexagons, here, in the form of your internal organs, which when you do count them, which when you do count them, let's ask doctors and see what they say.
Dr. Google.
Dr. Google.
That's AI.
How many internal organs are there in a human body?
Don't say 12.
Okay, I won't. 12 organ systems are the integumentary system, skeletal system, muscular system, lymphatic system, respiratory system, digestive system, nervous system, endocrine system, cardiovascular system, urinary system, male, female reproductive system. Those are the systems that exist in this portion of the body, the tent of congregation, where Moses had a symbol for each and every tribe. If you go to the New Testament, you read about the 12 foundations of the temple, 12 foundations, and you read about the 12 gates that enter the temple going to the Holy of Holies, which is heaven, where God and only God can go in. Because only you can enter your mind.
Just not to disturb, but on that point, would it not then be correct to at least suggest that what the Bible is trying to strongly guide us to is, once again, not the physical bricks and mortar of the Holy Temple, but for us to go within? And the word that comes to mind anyway for me is to contemplate / meditate. But I've heard you, unless I incorrectly heard you, on another platform anyway, stating that meditation is pointless, something to that extent.
Meditation is pointless without the knowledge of what you are meditating on. If I'm just going to sit here and say, I'm thinking about nothing, you're lying to yourself because you are thinking about nothing. True or false?
Absolutely. it's probably the more popular version that I've heard of. And I don't want to ask, sorry.
Ignore your thoughts.
Yeah.
Focus on your breathing.
Right.
Your thoughts are on your breathing. How the fuck do you ignore your thoughts when you're thinking about focusing on your breathing? The biggest lie ever told to man was pray and meditate. Those are the two things that render you completely useless. You want the correct way to meditate? Stand up and do. You want the correct way to pray? Stand up and do. Faith without works is dead. So am I saying to sit and meditate is a waste of time? No. I'm saying meditation is a waste of time. If you do not know how to navigate the Temple of Jerusalem, if you do not know how to navigate the land of Israel.
Just on that point, Abba, in terms of meditation specifically, is it the pathway back to stillness within? So finding your way out of the maze within yourself towards stillness, and that stillness can be acquired doing anything. So whether you're working, whether you're in the garden, whether you are driving, you can still have access to that stillness within you.
Let's make an example now. Everybody willing to participate. Let's do this. Even you. Put your hand out like this. Right? And relax your hand. Relax, just relax your hand. Relax. But keep it up firm, but relax it. Focus your thoughts on this finger, the middle finger. Focus your thoughts on the middle finger. Focus your thoughts. Just think about the middle finger. Ignore all the other fingers in your hand. Just focus on the middle finger. Think about the middle finger only. What is happening that is different from the rest of the hand?
It's getting raised up.
It's getting raised up, it's twitching, it's feeling at it, it's shaking. Right. Do you know what I just demonstrated to you? Focus of thought. Now, say for example, I'm going to give you a secret now. Not really a secret, but it's something that a lot of people forgot. Say you have a pain in your knee. You have this pain in your knee. Let's imagine this pain in my knee. The more you say, I have this pain in my knee, what happens to that pain in the knee?
The more pain you have in your knee.
Now, how would you heal that pain in the knee? If you can intensify it with your thoughts, what would you do to reverse it?
The opposite.
The opposite. Send channeled energy to your knee.
I have healing in my knee.
My knee's perfectly fine.
But my physio says It's 500 an hour.
Yeah, but your physio gets paid to lie to you. Listen, if people knew how to navigate the land of Israel, and when I say the land of Israel, I hope now we are together. What is the land of Israel? You, yourself, your body. You are the one who wrestles with God. You are the one who's constantly fighting with the voice in you that says, don't go there, and you say, no, but why? You are the one who's wrestling. You are Israel. And as long as people are going, nah, the Bible is this, nah, colonial is this, that, it means we are going to believe in that nonsense happening there in that land called Palestine now. Or some Israelites are fighting some Arabs about a homeland that never existed in reality.
The Bible says, do not be deceived, bad company ruins good morals.
What is it that you are allowing into your temple?
So if you're going to surround yourself with a physio that is reinforcing the pain in your knee, you're going to have more pain in your knee.
If the doctor that deals with cancer patients said to you, cancer can be cured, not by us, no. Do you think you'd still have a job tomorrow? No. If I would come up and say, if you give me your left hand and I burn it for 3 seconds with this lighter, I can cure your HIV. Do you think pharmaceutical companies would be happy about that? Do you think Big would be happy about that?
Probably.
It's going to pick up their
Sales of
their
prices.
sales, exactly. But now the pharmaceutical company is going to lose clients. So, if you keep reinforcing the lie, when the truth does eventually come out, what will your truth be? You see? The physio can say, yeah, the physio is qualified to lie to you. As much as the physician is qualified to keep you coming back to hospital. The neurologist is qualified to make you think you're crazy. The psychologist is qualified to make you think you're not in control of your mind. The priest is there just because you don't have access to God on your own. He's the middleman.
So, Abba, fundamentally what this conversation is telling me is that we are very sick as a brown nation.
We are very sick as a brown nation first because charity begins at home. Right? But we are sick as a human race.
Comparatively speaking, if you look at the other races, there are ones that seem to be better off than us.
Now, it's dangerous to say they seem to be better than us. Why? Because they are more economically viable than us?
Because they have stronger family units than us.
Okay. Now, if that's the point of judgment, then I agree with you. If you look at the stats are appalling. There are more broken black families. It's first the black families, the worst, and then my elder brothers, my colored brothers, and then Indians, and then we speak about your Muslims and then your white people. Now, it's scary to think that in the 80 percentiles, black families are broken up. It's only in the 15, 12 percentiles that white families are broken up. It's only in the 18, 20% that Muslim families are broken up and Jew families are broken up. The brown people suffer the most. Why? Because the brown people We have unfortunately been fed a narrative of second best. We have been fed a narrative of being colonized. We've been fed a narrative of being enslaved. We've been fed a narrative of being... Yes, they even coined words for us. The previously disadvantaged, the third world, the rural, the uneducated. There's so many words that describe our weaknesses.
Or reinforce our
Exactly, that's what I'm trying to say, you know. There's so many words that exist in the vocabulary to reinforce our weakness rather than stimulate a sense of self-pride, right? Rather than stimulate a sense of pride in our identity. Every time you hear black people, yeah, we were always colonized. By the end of that conference, nobody's coming out of there with a mentality of rising up to become better than they are. Everybody's depressed at the reinforcement of the colonial.
You come out of there and you're drained.
Exactly. Instead of coming together as a brown society and say, oh, you're an engineer, you're a lawyer, I'm a farmer, you're a dentist, let's build a community. Let's forget about what happened yesterday because it's not happening today.
Let's go in search of what truth is and let's live accordingly.
Let's actually come back and redefine what value is to us.
So then, could you see the rapture as a cleansing process?
There was that movie, what in The Purge?
It's a
purge.
purification.
It is. Those who are, like we said the last time, those who are evil will be evil still. There's so much in the world we're living in today. If let's say if I was a pedophile back in the 80s, 70s, and I was a pedophile, I would have to pray on children at schools, church, family gatherings, parks. That's how pedophiles operated back then. Today, pedophiles operate on phones. There was this thing I recently heard about, this game where you build with blocks and you have little characters jumping on rubrics or one-word bricks.
Minecraft.
Yeah, Minecraft,
yeah.
A young girl was playing with an older man on Minecraft, and they made an appointment to meet at a mall, and lucky the parents intercepted that. They went to the mall and found an old man preying on a little girl on a game on their phones. So, pedophiles today are 10 times more than they were 20 years ago. Right? 20 years ago, child pornography was like, when you have a picture of a young girl naked, it was like, nigga, let's go somewhere secret. I need to show you something. And I only show you for 3 seconds. That's a naked 12-year-old girl. It was like, now, how many 12-year-old naked girls can you find that on your phone at a go?
Yeah.
At a go.
So many.
How many apps do you know?
Music videos everywhere.
He who is evil, this time is going to be more evil. The wicked, this time, are even more wicked than before. Look around you. The rapture has long begun. The reign of the Christ, and this is where a lot of people are going to disagree and going to fight. Christ has long time returned, but his name was not Jesus. Christ long time returned, but his name was not Jesus. That's why you missed him. You didn't see him. Christ was that realization that came to you that said to you, wake up. You've been sleeping for too long.
And you ignored it.
And you ignored it. Christ is that opportunity that fell on your lap, that gave you a chance to actually evolve. And you said, no, I'm not ready. Christ is that woman who was good to you, and you decided to cheat on her with a woman who's got no moral backbone whatsoever. Christ was that man who offered to marry you, and you said you are not ready because you're still entertaining your ex-boyfriend. Christ was that old man who gave you advice on a bus, and you said, who the hell do you think you are? Christ was that old woman who asked for your help, and you said you are in a rush. How many times have you ignored Christ? How many times have you turned your back from Christ?
You knew the right thing to do.
And you did not do it. You heard the truth, you chose to reject it. Which Christ are we waiting for? Jesus? Jesus is the Son. He's come back for the past 7,000 years every morning. He'll still come back tomorrow. So if that's the Jesus we're waiting for, then we're too late. Because every morning he comes back. But who is Christ?
Once again, not to disturb, but I think the image of Christ, the sort of understood universal sort of image, is the one most people are waiting for, even though, like you say, it could just be literally someone next to you. But because they don't look that way, never mind disappointments where you actually try to help the old lady and so on, and next thing you were disappointed. So you're saying if it doesn't look, sound, smell like that image, it can't be.
Okay, true. But the very Bible says, there will be many who will come and say, he's returned, he's back. And they will describe, Uti, do not believe any of them. That's the Bible. Many will come and say, no, what we described, na yasibonile. Come and see for yourself. Uti, no. Don't believe that. Meaning, according to Christ itself in the Bible, whatever is going to return will not be human. It may be in a human, but it won't be an individual human. Does it make sense? We're not waiting for Cristiano Ronaldo to come back as Cristiano Ronaldo. But we're expecting football to live on. Making sense?
We're expecting the principles to be embodied moving forward. So you have to read the text to know what the principles are.
That's it. If Cristiano Ronaldo now quits football, is the team Portugal not going to go to the World Cup anymore? This is what we are saying. It's not a Jesus that we are waiting for. It is a Christ that we must awaken to within ourselves.
So a rising of the collective consciousness.
That's it. Today we're calling it Christ. Tomorrow I will call it Ilos, and you will be confused, not me.
Confusing the viewers.
Yeah, you are going to be confused, not me. I know exactly what I'm saying. I'm talking about a universal, aware, conscious spirit. Ilos, Christ, Buddha.
Yeah. So in layman's terms, with the title of Christ, Buddha, Idlozi, and so on,
Krishna.
and so on, and put as simply as you can, because once again, I think everybody's focused on a particular image, coming down from the sky. You name it. What? I want to almost ask, what are you waiting for, as if that's really the case? And I'm sure you're not necessarily waiting, but for those that may be, how would you simply distill it? Leave all the labels, Krishna, you name it. What would it be, as it were, as we try to, with the limitation of language, as it is? How would you advise your own children, for that matter?
Funny enough, you're asking me that. I was talking to my daughter today, this morning. She didn't go to school. The stomach is giving her issues. So, on the way, she says to me, Abba, I've got so many questions about life for you. And I said, no, ask me. You know? First question is, she asks, where do I come from? Right? And I said, no. You come from me. You are me. You're just an extension of me. I wanted to see how life would be if I was a little girl. And then you came along. And then she says, oh, okay. Then what are we here to do? And I asked her, from all that you know, what do we do as a family? What is the biggest thing that we do as a family? She says, no, we help people. I think that's it. We've always been helping people. We are always going to be helping people. Whether it's me or you or your children after you, it's never going to change. Now, to answer your question, what is it that we are actually waiting for? The return of the Christ, or the return of the Buddha, or the return of the what? What is it that we are waiting for? If you study psychology, you don't need to study psychology in depth, but in psychology there is a term, archetypes. Archetypes are anthropomorphized, personified aspects of the human psyche. Right?
Yeah.
So, the aspect of the human psyche that would be associated with greed, right, would be symbolized or archetypized or anthropomorphized as a pig-headed human with always bones sticking out of their tooth, and always their hands are covered with things, you know.
Yeah.
And when you see that image in your mind, it triggers the image of greed. So these people are archetypes, right? And these archetypes serve to remind us of our basic human psyche. Every one of us goes through a period of feeling defeated. Every one of us goes through a feeling of falling in love. Every one of us goes through a feeling of experiencing happiness. Every one of us goes through a period of having to be a warrior. Every one of us goes through a period of having to hide. Every one of us goes through a period of having to speak out. If you study all the gods of all the cultures around the world, they symbolize exactly that. The god of love, the god of fertility, the god of agriculture, the god of this, the god of that. These are human functions, anthropomorphized or personified as deities. Right? So actually what people are waiting for are waiting for themselves to realize themselves. That's it. That is the state of heaven.
Know thyself.
Know thyself. That's the state of heaven. That's the point where everyone is trying to get at or get to. Because there's always this feeling in which I have everything, but something's missing. Something's missing. Something's coming. There's always this feeling that something greater is coming. And that something greater is you.
So no matter how much you amass in the material, that remains. And
I was having a conversation in a panel just last night, and I asked a question, why do billionaires still go to work? He says, no, because there's nothing else to do. And I kind of understood what he said. There is nothing else to do. I mean, they've gone to the most remotest of islands for holiday. They've gone to the most beautiful cities for holiday. They've driven the most luxurious cars. They've driven in private jets. They've done it all. Right? All that's left to do for them is to just wake up and go to work. Otherwise, they're going to waste and die. There's nothing else left to do. You've done everything. All you have to do now is just keep working. Just keep working. Just keep working until you die. Because what else are you going to do? You can't go to France version 3. There's only one France. And you've seen everything about France. You can't go to England 2.0. There's only one England. Right? You can't go to the Fiji Islands and you probably own a fucking island. Right? So what more? All you have to do is to keep on going to work, because now you've created a loop for yourself. Right? We've seen even in cartoons. Max Scrooge. You remember Max Scrooge?
Scrooge McDuck.
Yeah, Scrooge McDuck. He had a room full of gold coins.
Correct.
But he did not even want one to leave. He was happy to put more in, and there was no space to put more. But he couldn't let one out. So you see now, Scrooge McDuck became now a prisoner of his own gold collection. And all he can do in it is swim in it. He's bought everything. There's nothing left to buy. So what's he going to do with all that gold? It's his swimming pool. He's swimming there. Right? And that's a cartoon. But there's a whole lot of truth behind it. There's too much truth. Have you seen these billionaires, how they play around with money? Okay. But anyway, what is it that we are searching for? Is that I have everything, but everything means nothing if I don't have you, babe. I know no woman dreams someone everything, but everything means nothing if I ain't got you. That's it. There's this cry to return to self. We've drifted so far from self that now there's a need to return to self. And that return to self is complicated by so many theologies, so many philosophies, so many spiritualities, so many movements, so many books, so many teachers, so many gurus, so many masters. Instead of bringing you back to yourself, they're taking you further away from yourself. You come to me, yeah, my name is Kabelo Teledi. Okay. How can I help you? No, I want to know more about my people and where I come from. Oh, okay. Do you know Hercules? And his father Zeus? Yeah, in Egypt they used to be called this and this. And do you know Amundra and the temple of 1,000,000 years? Did you see the pyramid there? Why did he come to me?
To know
To
himself.
find out about himself.
And then where am I taking you?
Everywhere else.
Everywhere else but.
And by the way, the bill is 10,000.
And by the way. By the way.
Just by the way.
Just by the way. After I take you to Egypt, to China, to Japan, and everywhere, 10,000. I took you everywhere else but.
Back home.
What I could have done was, tell it. Hey man, when you not even come from where you come from. You actually come from KZN. Ubuthelezi wena. Now, where am I taking you? Closer home.
But ultimately, you can't make the journey for anyone else.
Not even my parents could make the journey for me. I can't make the journey for my children. Do you get it? I love you. I love you. Heart, mind, body, and all my 10 toes. But I can't work for you. I can't live for you. I can't experience for you.
You can't take the journey back to self.
I can't wake up for you. We can sleep in the same bed, me and you. When I wake up, I didn't wake up for you, Nana. It's my wake up. Do you get what I'm trying to say? The Bible should be looked at with a clear conscience, as His Majesty says.
So in that essence, Abba, would you say that the rapture is a waking up from the delusion or the illusion of this world and waking up with your true eyes to who you truly are, which is an acceptance of the God within?
That is, let's look at the English definition of the word rapture before we philosophize it and religiousize it and
so on.
Yeah. Meaning of rapture.
Just before you actually read what Google says, could I just piggyback on that and just suggest that it's an opportunity regardless of what comes from there. And it's always really been that. It's represented a genuine opportunity. It just depends, eyes and ears, those who have them or otherwise.
That's it. It's rapture, dictionary, definition from Oxford language. Noun, a feeling of intense pleasure or joy. That's rapture. North American, according to some millenarian teaching, the transporting of believers to heaven at the second coming of Christ. But that's millenarian. That's religious interpretation. But rapture actually means a sudden burst or a feeling of intense pleasure or joy. It is the religious interpretation, misinterpretation, that now uses the philosophy or the doctrine of the rapture as a gun. They use it as a lightning rod. If you don't accept Jesus, in the rapture you will go to hell. No. There's nothing. The word itself, rapture, does not have any connotation of punishment. It's an intense feeling of joy or pleasure. It's like an orgasm.
So, bottom line, Abba, September, sal die poppen dance of nie? What is going on? What do the ancestors say?
Die poppen het lang aangedans.
I was about to say,
Die poppen het lang aangedans.
January to December it's been.
Hey, listen, thing is, since this symbol was captured in words in a book, it's been happening. Remember, the Bible was not the first spiritual, philosophical, scientific book in the world. There was the Egyptian books, there was the Sumerian tablets, there was the Babylonian texts, there was the Indian texts, much older than the Bible. But they all speak about the same thing. Same symbolism, same truth, same reality. Right? And this reality is, oh, what a day that must be when you realize the divinity within yourself and let it out. That is the rapture. The day you realize, no man, I'm actually more than I thought. That is the rapture.
Is that why they existed in physical form or what have you? They had to kill him.
Exactly.
They literally, it was a matter of, listen, don't tell them that. Because if they buy it, i.e. they actually remember who they are.
But now let's look at it another perspective. Motherfucker had to die. As much as you have to die in order to realize. So the death of the Christ in the Bible was not really a physical death. It was a philosophical death. It was the death of your connection to your previous beliefs, your previous world, your limitations.
It's a death of the connection to the material
It's
world.
death of... And be careful, no? I don't want you to misinterpret her when she says death to the material world, as if now we are going to live on the clouds and we don't need phones and cars and... Hey, don't be foolish now, please. No. It's a death to your association, your identification, and your limitation to the third dimension. That's it.
A dependence on the third dimension.
It's like quitting drugs. You quit your drug, doesn't mean you're going to die. It just means you go back to your natural state of mind. So that's the rapture. It's an opportunity that's always been given. There's no time point which no in 2027 shit's gonna hit the fan. No, shit's been hitting the fan.
The signs of the world.
The signs have always been around.
Now that you said 2027, I'm going to hang on to that.
Don't quote me on that.
The false prophet is born. Wow.
Don't quote me on that. But do you get what I'm saying? The rapture is the day you come to a realization of who you truly are. And you start to choose to live like that.
Wow.
That's it. No heaven, no hell. Listen, the concepts of heaven and hell and even within Christianity did not exist until a poem was written by Dante. Exactly. That poem was canonized by Pope Gregory to make a church doctrine. And all he was saying, he was talking about the mental process that a person has to go through. You have to go to a point where you yourself condemn yourself to hell and go through the 3 stages of hell. You have to go through purgatory to purge yourself of all this unnecessary limitations and lies, and you tell yourself. You have to purge yourself of that. That's purgatory. Once you go through purgatory, you yourself have to go through inferno to burn it all away now. But the fire, that's where gold is purified, right? So that inferno is not going to burn you and kill you. It's going to transform you and make you stronger.
Alchemize you.
Alchemize you. It's going to burn away all the unnecessary debris. So that when you're purified, you move up to paradisio. Paradise. When now you are truly yourself, you are gold. It's the process of alchemy. But a lot of foolish people died in front of furnaces trying to turn lead into gold physically. And they died of heat and dehydrations and burns and look at the history of Europe what's these centuries the Dark Ages and the Renaissance here. Thousands of them died trying to transform metal into gold without understanding that that base metal is man at his lowest self. And that gold is man at his highest self. Transform yourself. Rapture. Join the gravy train. That's what it means. This is a process of alchemy. This is a process of self-evolution. I don't want to say self-initiation because a whole lot of people are going to jump on that and say, you see, even Abba is supporting us. No. But Haile Selassie says this is a guidance for your future, but it's also solutions to all your life's difficulties. Read it with a clear conscience. I, as Abba Ayaleo, glory in the Bible. Give that.